We have in the studio Risaria. Welcome, Risaria. Hello. It's lovely to have you in the studio. The only issue is we're not able to link up with Kaja, isn't it? So we'll wait for her to come through on the thing. But what is it that we're trying to get her to do? What is it we're trying to link with her? And why is that? Why do we want Risaria? Why do we want Kaja on Skype now? What's she doing that's so special?
Oh, it's just so special. I met Kaja about 18 months ago, and she introduced me to the way she works. She works with a group of people who create music in the now.
So they are authentic, spiritual, but spontaneous musicians.
Yes, but they choose the places they compose in very carefully. And they have themes, and they are really inspiring with their music. It's very, very, it works on the body. And
so they're not sitting in a big symphonic hall with millions of viewers and thousands of TV screens and everything scripted and tickets sold.
Not
it's
at all.
Completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite. This year they went to Mount Shasta in America.
All right.
It's in California, which is a sacred site. And they
for eons that place is considered very special.
Yes.
Or like a pilgrimage.
Yes.
Except it's not on recorded religions, but it is a spiritual experience.
Yes.
Wow.
And they recorded the music here, which I'm hoping we'll be able to hear.
Okay.
Yes. And in January they're going to Egypt. And they have 9 hours in the Tomb of the Kings.
Wow. So really very precious earthly places.
Yes.
Before we destroy them all with tourism or bombs.
Yes.
It's a wonderful what she's doing, And music is so potent and so powerful. It touches everyone's hearts. You don't need to explain it. A child can pick it up.
Yeah.
You don't need a course on appreciating music because a baby gets it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Is that authentic?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the other places that she's thinking of, Kaja, is?
She's wanting to come here to Tyneside. They actually came, she came and did some sessions here for World Peace Day in September.
I remember.
Peace Tyneside. And they came and looked around and said they really want to come and compose here, but they didn't feel the time was right this year.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to them coming here.
But any idea what kind of place in our part of the world would be good? In your view, in what you see as a...
They're working in Scotland. They have been for some time. So, but Kaja is really the one to ask that detail.
So she has to feel it.
She has, yes.
So it has to resonate with her heart chakra, you could say.
Yes.
Not a brain chakra.
And they work as a team.
Okay.
It's a team of them.
How many people are there?
I think there's 5 of them all together.
Right.
Yes.
Five people.
Yes.
How did they meet?
I'm not sure.
We'll ask her if she comes on Skype.
Yes.
Kaja, we're waiting for you. You can text her while we are talking.
Yes.
Saying, Doc, Skype is on. And you're there. So she can...
Right, I'll send her a text.
Because it's all linked up.
Yes. We did a test last night and it worked perfectly.
Well, sadly, I can see myself on the screen, which is like a mirror. But we need Kaja on the screen. Okay, so there's 5 of them. They've got together somehow, and they are spiritual people who are going to different parts of the world, sitting and creating music there. So I can't ask her the question that I would be able to ask her. But she talked to us at the St. Mary's Cathedral.
It's St. Mary's Church, yes.
What date was that roughly? It was the day I came back from Palestine.
It was the 21st of September. It was World Peace Day. Yes.
And I had just landed at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And your text came which says, Doc, you're coming. I thought, what the hell is this, I've just returned from Palestine from very emotionally draining, painful experience, And I thought, I must have said something to her. So I said, yeah. Tell me the venue again. And
yes.
Lo and behold, at 10 o'clock, I'm bathed and ready to talk. And I saw this Texan-looking character. Who was it? I said, may I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Anand. I used to be a doctor and I'm better, my usual prattle. And he said, Alan Robson. I said, not the Alan Robson. You look like a Texan. And we hit it off. And I got to know him. And then my son and I, we came to different parts and filmed different bits. It was a wonderful day that day. There were all sorts of, there were Buddhists. There was Muslim fellows speaking, a young lad from Middlesbrough.
Yes.
With his very quaint look. with a turban on, or he looked like a prince from Jodhpur, Rajasthan or Arabia or something like that. He was a bit fair, but but he looked the part. And then there was Jambo,
Yes,
Strong
Jambo
with
Trong,
his,
yes.
who actually got us to experience it. And there were the two young men, young I would call them for them to feel better about how they got into this business of getting into public relations and promoting their work.
Yes.
So really, it was quite a rag bag. There was a Buddhist monk
Yes.
from some monastery around here,
From the Dhammakaya temple in heaven.
Dhammakaya temple in heaven.
Heaven.
I said that purposely. Have you been to the monastery up here? It's no longer that active. Hanam.
No, I haven't been to that.
17 miles on the A696 from Newcastle. There's a place called Hanam. And if you go right into the building, it is a monastery. And the old guy, the farmer, was totally taken up. It was to be a hub of activity, humming with all sorts of people coming in there. Very nice, gentle people. But I think his descendants haven't. What does it say?
She says she's calling you now.
Okay. I'm just awaiting. My Skype is alive. Yeah, my Skype is alive. So Kaya, I hope you get through. If not, worst comes to worst, she can talk on my mobile. Let's do that now.
Right.
Just tell her it's not coming through. I mean, I'm connected
Okay.
to Skype. I can see that.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Let me be absolutely truthful about the network here. The network reception is 244 bytes a second. Not kilobytes,
Right.
not megabyte. This place stinks, you know.
Right.
The beacon, I'm very sorry to tell you that I'm receiving you at 347 bytes. My computer can measure all this. And we are transmitting at 940 bytes. I have even forgotten what bytes are. So she can't get through because of the rotten broadband we have here. So she can call me on my phone and I'll link her
Right.
to the people directly. So text her my number. It'll be 0044.
Right.
Well, you text it. I don't want to give the public my number.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, we are interviewing today Risaria, who's absolutely a wonderful lady. I met, I don't know, how did we meet?
We met through Jonas Malik through the
Eunice from...
the Diversity Forum.
Yes.
Gated Muslim
The
Society.
fellow with
yes.
the tash.
Yes.
Oh, no, Yunus Malik, he's got a shop here for saving electricity and gas and that.
Ah, right.
That guy. Yes, Yunus. I told him if you wear glasses and put on a dhoti, you look like Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. That chap, yes. So Risaria is a mother of two and an Amazon best-selling coming-of-age and dystopian fiction author. What is dystopian?
It means where
Opposite
the
of
world...
the utopia.
Yes.
Dystopia means the
It's disturbed, yes. It's
twisted out of shape.
Twisted out of shape, yes.
Fiction author. Writing has always been your passion. 15 years ago, you started as script writing. You have written a ringing group. Script wiring group.
Right.
The word doesn't exist here. WRING. Script ring group in her home in the Midlands. You're a Brummy.
No, I lived in Derby. I'm a Geordie, but I lived in the Midlands for
All right.
nearly
And you
30
come back
years,
home,
and
like-
I've come back home.
Aye, where?
Yes, I've come home.
When there was no other group in the area. So you're really quite a pioneer, one could say. Christopher Columbus, just
Yes.
to tease you. You know, I was
I've not
watching...
been called that before.
Well, Christopher Columbus was going to China, but landed in the Americas. There was a cartographic show on BBC Two or something. And it's amazing how people go for one thing and find something else.
Yes.
But make so much out of it.
Yes.
And he says he discovered America. Excuse me, America was there all the time. You didn't discover it. This group, the Derbyshire Script Writers, is going strong today. Still well done. On this writers, from this writers, last year you launched a book called Fruitful Voices.
Yes.
What, 5 fruit and veg a day? what is Fruitful Voices about?
Well, I'm looking for people who are ripe to write and who want to express themselves.
You know,
on
the
a deeper
fifth
level.
chakra is the vocal chakra, but it's about expression. It's not just about the voice.
Yeah.
Some people write, some people play act, some people sing, some people dance. It's all the different ways that humans express their spirituality. And published her own first children's book, Death of the Dragon Keepers. Is that the book you were showing me?
Yes, it's
It's
available.
got a lovely cover, you know, with a dragon made of fire. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So when's that book coming out?
It came out earlier this year.
It has, okay.
Yes, it's already out, and it got to #1 on Amazon
Through Kindle?
through Kindle. Yes,
So it's a Kindle book.
it's a Kindle book.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it take for anyone to write something on air, on internet? And what does it take to publish it? What kind of people, what does it take? Because a lot of people I know want to write, but they just don't know how to get onto Kindle. What do you
Yes.
do to do that?
Well, the thing is, I always say first have your book.
Mhm.
You need to create the book first.
You need to write it out.
You need to write it.
Okay.
And then the two of the writers I work with, they actually found that the skills in their day jobs worked to help them get it online, because you can put it onto Amazon and you
So
can,
these are
it's a
like
step-by-step.
transferable skills.
Yes.
Would you bring them sometime?
Yes.
Because there are a
I'd
lot
love
of people in the community. You see, I think it's the age of true democracy coming, where everyone can take a video and put it on YouTube. Everyone can go on Skype. At one time, we were all oppressed, isn't it? We were told not to. The King James Bible came out in English, so people could actually read and understand.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're stuck in an ancient language nobody knows, and only the elite, or the only dance that you could see was ballet. You're not allowed to dance.
Yes.
It's vulgar.
Yes.
So it's highbrow stuff, isn't it? In all cultures, doesn't matter which country. Every culture wants to dominate the less fortunate. Okay. You also did this wonderful World Peace Day. You co-founded a community interest company committed to raising awareness and promoting inner peace through celebrating peace. Now, that is quite an amazing thing you're doing, because it's like fighting racism. You can't fight racism without raising its profile. Anything you fight grows,
Exactly.
isn't it? People don't seem to understand this. The government definitely doesn't understand this. You, instead of being happy and showing people how to be happy, but you know, misery sells, violence sells, sadly. But you know, you do something peaceful, it doesn't sell. But we can make it sell, because you have power, I have power on Skype. And what's that new thing you were telling me about, how to promote things on the internet with 5 people can, 10 people can talk together?
Oh yes, it's another another
Platform?
platform.
Mhm.
Uvu.
Uvu, how do you spell
Yes.
that?
OOVOO. And it's
OOVOO.
Yes.
Uvu.
Yes.
Okay.
And this Kaja and I are working with a group of, there's 12 of us in Europe.
Wow.
In
So
Germany.
you use Uvu to be connected,
Yes.
and it's free,
It's free.
and it's face to face. You can
It's
see each other's
face-to-face,
expression.
Yes. And you can have up to 12 people, and we connect twice a week, and we
Wow.
have a 2-hour session.
What a beautiful use of technology. What a fab use. I'm really, really touched. So where do you get these new ideas from? I'm
just
jealous.
being open. Just being
I didn't know
open.
about Uvu until you mentioned it this
Yeah.
morning.
And that's it. Well, you're open to new ideas
Always,
and things,
always.
and it's being open and using social media. I find the internet so great. I use Facebook as my newspaper.
Wow.
So this is why I get the pictures and the information that I choose, and I love that.
Do you use LinkedIn?
I do.
Are you good at it?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I'm doing some training at the moment.
No. I love your answer. Not yet. Means there's expectation, hope, and desire.
Yes.
Instead of saying no, means it's a closed chapter. Not yet is a fantastic answer, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
And I'm getting support because there's a scheme called run by Go Digital called WW Women, and it's for women-led companies to help them connect and get their businesses connected and digitized. And
So the people
More-
least likely to use it are being promoted and
Yes.
positively encouraged.
yes, and especially women, because it means that, you know, often they can work from home.
Exactly, because they have the task of looking after the grandma, looking after the mother, looking after the
Yes.
kid, looking after the husband. They're forever carers,
Yes.
and and they miss out. But with modern technology, you can be sitting at home and be connected to the whole world.
That's the beauty of it.
I've seen my sister do it. My own sister Malika, she's on Facebook, but her friends are her students and genuine friends. She doesn't go out looking for electronic friends. These are real human beings.
Yes.
And say her student, she's been teaching for 35, 36 years in the Air Force school. Some of her students are Harvard professors.
Yes.
And they still call her ma'am because it's Air Force school.
Yes.
So it's lovely when I see her interacting. Whereas her husband, I hope he's not listening, has retired from the Air Force and just sits at home watching cricket. And that's his choice.
That's fair enough.
But then
yeah.
she is in the outside world, sitting at home. So it is quite a powerful thing. Uvu. Okay, I'll promote it. So tell other people to link, because I think it's the era of the common man, really, and woman.
Yes.
When I say man, I mean women as well. I mean, I keep saying women are human. People don't believe me. You know? So Uvu is one very good thing. Okay, what more can we say? You also have a right now workshop. Do you ever sleep? You're so active. How many hours sleep do you get?
Well, I'll nap in the day if I need
Okay.
sleep. So sometimes I don't need big chunks. Sometimes I do.
But when you feel like it and you have the facility
Yes.
to so do,
Yes.
you don't say, oh, night is only for sleep. You just go.
No. Well, this weekend, Kaja and I have been preparing the program for our seminars, and we suddenly realised it had been over 6 hours. We'd been on the calls,
Wow.
but we were just in the flow.
It sounds like two kids who are playing on the computer. Now somebody is ringing me on the unknown. Could that be Kaja?
That could be Kaja. Yes.
Hello, is that Kaja? Is that Kaja?
Hi.
It is Kaja, isn't it? Hello, Kaja. You're on my
Yes, it is.
speakerphone linked to the microphone. So we are using mixed technologies. Hi, I'm so sorry we can't get through. You can't get through because our reception is 1.02 kilobytes a second. So you are a racing car and we are an ant here at the Beacon building. So anyway, tell us what you're doing. I mean, I'm sorry we can't link up with you. We'll find somewhere around this. We have to fight this narrow band that we have. Tell us what you're doing and where.
Where am I now, you mean?
Yes, please.
Up in Norway, in a beautiful island called Samsøya. And it's a city.
Uh-huh.
And having an amazing time up here. The stillness of the snow this morning. It's been snowing all day. The ground is white, and just enjoying the beautiful nature and doing some research on finishing up and creating this event we're going to have in February.
So you're preparing for a February event. But tell me, your days must be very short because you're nearer the pole than we are.
Sorry?
Your days, the sunlight time would be very low.
Yeah. I think it's about, we get 8 hours
All right.
of daylight.
Oh, that's pretty good. And how cold is it? What's the temperature like?
The temperature is around -1, I think.
Okay, well, -1. Okay. But you got
Yes.
used to that. How long have you been there?
Oh, we came yesterday. We
All
came
right.
yesterday and woke up this morning. And it's so quiet here. It's so still here. It's so beautiful.
Isn't it a place where you face yourself?
Oh, I mean, if there's a place to be, facing self, to be getting back to nature,
Yes.
aligned with
Wow.
yourself, this is a very beautiful place to be.
Wow. What's the altitude? How high is it?
How high it is?
Yeah.
It's on the sea level.
All right. Okay. So tell me one thing. What do you feel special? How do you resonate with a place like that to know that that is the right place for you to look for music in your souls? How do you gauge that? How do you know that?
I think there's something about getting into the nature and having a place that you can really relax.
Wow.
And when that happens, you're so much available for the frequencies and the music that we're using to support you on your journey.
So there are a lot of us who have learned to stifle that inner voice, that inner creativity, because we like the noise and the hustle and the bustle and the iPhone in our ears, that we forget any natural sounds coming from Mother Nature.
Yeah. I think that quiet time for a lot of us, and you can train yourself to be quiet in a very noisy place as well, but to be able to be in such a place to create that new reality from there, it's easy to access it when you come home.
So when you sit there quietly and there's no thoughts in your head, all the thoughts have gone, then you meet yourself, isn't it?
Yes.
Because that's what
the thing.
Deepak, I'm just quoting somebody. Deepak Chopra says, you are the space between your thoughts.
I know, and I get it, and even in that space between the thoughts, you will have a possibility of accessing information from your own soul, your own truth, insights, and really cool information that you can guide yourself and navigate yourself through life with.
Wow. You're saying something really beautiful. In ancient Sanskrit or Hindi even, there is no word for invention. There's only word for discovery. So you're discovering, so a bit like Michelangelo saying, I don't make a statue, I remove the bits that are not there because the statue is inside the stone anyway. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we don't have any music to play because the site we got was all paid sites and I couldn't afford £9.99 per. But we'll get your music and do a proper show together. Maybe week on Monday, if possible. We'll organize everything. Risaria and I will come a little bit more prepared. Let's see if I can. I'll tell you what, I'll link my mobile phone into my computer, hotspot it, and see if that works. So I'm going to do that now and carry on talking to Risaria. You try to connect with me again. My connection speed through here is 815 bytes, not kilobytes, not megabytes. So on the where you are, you must have very good reception. We have absolute atrocious. We have some O2 reception here through my phone. I'll see if I can hotspot it. You carry on, try to link. And if you do, then we can even see your face. And it'll be lovely to carry on the conversation. Okay, Kaja?
Yeah.
So I'll knock off the phone, but try me through Skype, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you then. Bye for the minute. Bye-bye.
Back to it. And worked as a lawyer. And I was working as a trainee matrimonial lawyer. And I realised that I was actually more interested in people's stories.
Than getting them divorced.
Yeah, I mean...
And making some money out of it.
Yeah, than making money out of it, because I realised that with a lawyer, basically it's having your clients... I used to like to get the cases sorted so they could move on in their lives.
Yeah, like you have done.
Yes.
Exactly. Rather than hang on and how dare he do this and can you have half the piano. I'm actually quoting real stories. There's this couple fighting. He's a very experienced doctor. She's a very experienced therapist. She wanted half the piano. So I said from the lowest octave till the middle you give to her and put 2 fake legs. He said, you can't. I said, I'm only joking, man. I said, give her the whole damn piano and be done with it. And he did.
Yes.
Just to insult her. He said, now you take it away. I'm not paying the removal charges. But the removal charges were £800. And the piano was not worth that much anyway. So, people fight about such small things,
Yeah, I mean...
What is it? Is it guilt-driven? Why can't people let go?
I think it is that inability to let go. The thing that I found that most people dragged on for years were the Elvis Presley collections. In
Australia, whereas America has forgotten him by now.
Yeah.
But the immigrants in Australia and China and India
in
and Derby, hang on to Elvis Presley.
Hang on to Elvis. The king still lives, and you're just thinking, well... start a new one.
Yeah. There are new kings and new princes and all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Okay. So next job after bottle washing, you tried your hand at being a lawyer, but you realized people didn't want to move on, and that stymied your personal growth as a human.
Yes,
and you'd be stuck in it for life and kind of regretted. You're on your deathbed. Why did I just do this?
I mean, this was when the children were young, and I was wanting to give them everything. I wanted them to have the piano lessons, dance lessons, everything, and
not kimono. What's that called? What is that called? The lessons they have, the Japanese way of maths. Kumon.
Oh, I haven't.
You haven't even heard about it.
No.
Okay, the new generation does kumon.
Right.
And of course they have chess lessons and piano lessons and sword fencing lessons and swimming lessons, anything, so they can't think for themselves. Just keep the bucket so little busy, they can't do anything. Okay, so you also wanted the best and the best and the best. Okay.
Yes, and I just made myself ill. It was
with trying too hard.
Yes.
So I tell mothers that in the aeroplane it says put on the mask on your face when the plane is crashing, and then look after your children. Otherwise you'll have a baby sitting in a pile of rubbish with nobody to look after it.
Exactly.
So you have to look after number one, yourself.
You have to, yes. And I think it teaches your children as well. If you aren't looking after yourself,
you're teaching them
not to look after
by
themselves.
By
example.
Yes, my mother was very good on this, because my father once on Diwali day went and got silky clothes for us children, and for himself got something very rough. And my mother said, look, if you don't want to be treated like a servant in your older age, you're giving the wrong message to the children.
Yes.
So you get yourself something nice as well. You bought me a lovely Banarsi sari, silken sari, whatever we can afford. So go and return all this and buy something at least as good, if not better. These are kids, they'll grow out of it. Your clothes will last.
Yes.
My father lost his father when he was 10, but my mother gave him that courage and the strength.
Right.
So, it's interesting how these relationships grow.
Yes.
And my mother became a more socialized person than she was. She was a book writer and everything. But socially, she didn't want to. She was a bit timid. And now, actually, she's in hospital at the minute with her swollen feet. She's fine. But she chats up the nurses in English, which she knows, So it's about confidence, isn't it?
Yes.
On the one hand, she's an author. At 14, she wrote 16 short stories that were published in British India.
Right.
16 stories, So I got that published recently. But deep inside, there's the fear. She wouldn't talk to the taxi fellow because it's in English. I said, you've spoken English for 50 years, 60 years. But not like them. I said, become like them. Speak in Geordie. So, what's the next job you did?
Gosh, because
Solicitor?
it went to and fro after the archaeology and when the children were born. And so I started doing the writing.
All right.
But this was...
What kind of writing would you be doing?
I was writing fiction.
Okay.
But I was inspired by everybody I met or knew in the street would inspire me for a story, and I was getting picked up, and I was thinking I hadn't written since I'd been at school, and I was thinking, oh well, I'm no Shakespeare or Dickens, and I thought, no, you're not, you're you, and I realised that people were interested in the way I was writing. And so I wanted to develop that and started running groups in my living room.
Wow.
Because I was interested most in film writing.
Right.
And I still am. And that's what I...
So film writing is a story you're writing, but you're visually seeing the scenes in your mind's eye.
Yes, yes.
Not just auditorily, but visually as well.
Well, in theory, you need to be able to put it on the page so that it's visual, but the way that it starts with me is I feel the emotion first.
Okay.
And that's where it comes from. And for me, I feel the emotion, and often smells or sounds. And with me, it's often the visuals is the last thing.
Okay.
So I work with the energy of the story and develop it that way. And that's how it's come up. So I've had some really bizarre stories that I'm writing them. I think I can't write about this. And one thing that was really successful, got a lottery award, was Dog's Dinner.
Dog's Dinner. Okay, what a lovely name.
It was about an old man called Bisto who had no legs but still liked to dance.
Wow.
And so really bizarre
stories. So he danced
stories.
in his mind's eye.
Well, actually, he taught a young teenager to dance.
To dance for him.
Yeah.
So he is the puppeteer.
Yes.
And that teenager is Billy Elliot, kind of.
But this is when it was when we were actually staging it. We found that we auditioned two actors one who had one leg, who's actually from the northeast, and another from Manchester who had no legs. And the older guy who had no legs had never danced before. But Eddie, who
had one leg,
he taught him how to dance in his wheelchair.
Wow.
And so it was a really so he did the choreography for the older guy. It was really amazing. It was beautiful to watch, and it was one of the most moving scenes is where he's
because it shows
dancing.
Human beings can break loose from their disabilities.
Yes.
And disabilities are almost self-perpetuated, isn't it?
Yes.
And if there's benefit in being disabled, it's like Tourette syndrome and all these kind of things which are overrated because you get cash for it.
Yeah.
So it's sad that our society encourages that kind. In the chair you sit, not in that chair because he brings his own. Wheelchair Steve comes here every Thursday. So you're welcome on this Thursday if you wish, or any Thursday because he's there. You might get ideas from him. He's a very powerful speaker.
Yes.
He started the A1 Speakers Club with 2 other people.
Ah, right.
So it's quite a local power fellow. He is the one I take to Amma restaurant to make it disability friendly.
Right.
Because it's a small business, they haven't got the money and they're not bothered, and the council doesn't put any pressure whatsoever on old buildings saying, please can you, there's no award for it, for access, which is a shame. So he's quite a powerful medium. He's like the head of my missile.
Right.
for doing that stuff. And you'll
Sounds
enjoy
good.
it. So you're welcome on Thursday as well.
Right.
And also, are you connected at all with anyone for TV?
No.
You should at least meet the lady.
Right.
Bessie Williams. You love her because she's like you. She's always evolving. At 16, she took her bike to Isle of Man. At 25, she had a bus, a double-decker bus. She used to get children's dirty clothes, wash them, sell them, until the council wanted her to have a license. Then she said, up yours, and went away. At about 26, 27, she decided she needed a man in her life.
Yes.
She never had a boyfriend. She marries the guy, and he's still her husband. Very
Great.
powerful woman. And she's gone through all the television, this and that and the other. So I met her 2 years ago, acted in a Bengali movie. I'm not even Bengali. So I acted in a movie. And that was the start of my awakening. Like, be yourself. You're not a
Yes.
doctor anymore. You don't have to pretend to be serious and boring. And I said to her, look, all the people on your site, they enter your site free. But they put on their selfie pictures, which are out of focus, crooked, and they write a stupid script. My son can write a decent script,
Yes.
at least better than those people, and I can take a decent picture with my DSLR. Charge them £25 a year. You take 12 and a half, I take 12 and a half. I'll give something to her. And she's fine. And I said, for 75, we can have a 20-second video. Now, we actually had two guys. One is a black guy with a very heavy Jamaican accent at will. He's been in this country 15 years. So I filmed him, and we have emailed it to the company. We have linked that YouTube thing to the English company down south. So instead of this poor guy going all the way by bus, so
Yes.
24 hours wasted. You can see, if you like it, fine. If you don't, fine.
Exactly.
So is that kind? So you have to be linked, because you'll get a lot of writer kind of people, and you'll bring people to her, because she's a local. She's also a local. She's in Biker Foundry, old key, off-key building.
Right. I don't know that. I'll
She
have to
manages
look
the
that
whole
up.
building.
Yeah.
I'll link you with her
Yeah.
after the program, because you two can benefit each other.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Her 82-year-old mother came and sang on air here. Her 84-year-old father danced here. And he is the cleaner for the whole building. At 84, he's got a job,
Great.
I love these characters,
Yes.
These are local, strong characters. Because if you're old and powerful, I love you. If you're young and daft, I love you. Because I don't want to get old and boring.
No.
Isn't it? And you stay perpetually young by meeting constantly thinking people outside the box kind of people, isn't it?
Yes.
You're challenging yourself. You're charging Anne Langley to become Risaria, isn't it?
Yes. I changed my name. So, because this was a name my spiritual teacher gave me, and I really liked it.
Okay. I'll just want a break here.
It's Red Hot Radio. Spice FM 98.8 FM.
Hello, welcome back, Risaria. What were we talking about? We are talking about the way we all grow by doing different jobs. Because every job is your teacher, isn't it?
Yes.
You do a job because we do a job for the money as well, but also to get us out of the house. And that is particularly difficult for women, isn't it?
Yes, and I think in terms of when you say get us out of the house, it's also out of
The mental house.
The mental house,
The
yes.
cage.
Yes.
I'm a woman, I can't do this, I
Yes.
shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
I'm only a woman, I'm only a
Yeah,
housewife,
that only
I'm only a
just-
cleaner.
These limiting words.
Put downs, yes.
Yeah, and it's the words that you end up putting, showing your lack of worth of yourself, and it's about valuing yourself more. And I think that's what helped me with working with Kaja and Barbara Marx Hubbard, is we were working on what we call evolutionary circles, and Barbara has found that women work best in circles, like you have sewing circles,
Yes,
things
yes,
like
yes,
this.
yes. Circle dancing.
Circle dancing,
Yes.
yes. We had dances for Universal Peace Peace
uh-huh.
Day, but it's creating these groups of women or groups of
Like
people.
a cooperative.
Yes, that you co-create something,
Co-create, yes.
and that I think is a really good way of working, and I think it works in small communities. It's like the street where I live is a really good community, and where there's now about
Where is this?
I live in Fenham.
I thought Langley Castle or something because of your name. You're just doing the
Not
road.
yet, just doing the road.
Aye. Okay. Good.
And so there's a couple of houses got together. We did the vertical gardening scheme with Green
Wow.
in Wingrove.
Wow. Are you involved with Greening of Wingrove?
Yes, I'm
because I promote them anytime I get a chance. I promote them.
Yes, and this got me really into gardening again, because I haven't had my own garden for some time.
And now you do.
And now I have again. Well, not at the house. We have a little piece of concrete, but we've planted it up with salad crops and courgettes.
Wow.
The tomatoes didn't do very well, but we're now sharing an allotment and working on that, and that's really exciting.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, but it's Mother Earth, you're connected with Gaia.
Yes.
And it's really, I think it's quite important. I mean, we can't really go back to everything, but women's cycles used to match the moon.
Yes.
And now with the pill and this and that, that's all completely damaged.
And I think we need to go back to that, because I found that one of the ways I helped to heal myself was using an Ayurvedic technique which was moonwalking,
tell me.
But
I know it sounds lunatic, but
it sounds lunatic.
But just a minute. The word lunatic is a very misogynist term. Because women work in lunar cycles.
Yes.
And subtly is misogynist. Or she's hysterical because you have a hysteros, a uterus.
Yeah.
Men can't be hysterical. We don't have a uterus. Of course, we bloody well can be hysterical. Yes. What is John Cleese but hysterical?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, he doesn't have a uterus, but he's more hysterical than any woman could be. His wife is so peaceful there.
But lunatic also has a positive connotation.
Yes.
Because
yes.
When I lived in Derby, I worked in the museum there, and there were a group of people. There was a Joseph Wright, who was a world famous painter, and Darwin. They used to meet on the full moon, and they called themselves.
You're talking about D. Darwin.
His son.
Oh, his son Darwin.
Yes.
Okay. Not the original Darwin.
But there were a group of scientists and artists who would meet at the full moon, and they called themselves the lunatics, because they used to be able to ride. They used to be able to ride in the moonlight to get to meet up.
Oh, I see. Just for visual benefit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So.
But I think we all have, and even science today, and people forget these little things, that we have biological rhythms.
Yes.
We have physical rhythms.
Yes.
We have emotional rhythms, and sometimes they can be together, and sometimes it can all crack up because you're out of sync, out of kilter.
Yeah.
So, we teach stress relief and so on our course that we were telling you, Alan Curry and I were telling you in the bistro.
Yes.
But we talk about these things, saying, look, sometimes you will not feel like doing something. I mean, I do a lot of creative editing. I don't get paid a penny. And some say, I'm not going to do it. I'll just go and sleep. And I'll go and sleep. But 2 hours later, I'm hungry to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm not a hut yogi. I don't like it, but I'll bloody well do it. No, I don't do that. It's free, and it knows my boss except me. So, like you, if you need a power nap, go and have it.
Yes.
So the little pirate sitting on my shoulder, mummy, daddy, teacher saying, you can't sleep in the daytime. Yes, I will. We have all these unnecessary rules. Some come from religion, some come from culture. But I believe in the essence of these things, in the values, not in the rules. I don't believe in rules. I mean, if the rule is not hurting anybody, I'll break them.
Exactly.
If I'm not hurting anyone, So you were also mentioning something called Fruitful Voices.
Yes, this is the name of the company I run my workshops through.
Fruitful Voices.
Yes.
So voice means somebody expressing themselves, and fruitful means it bears fruit.
It bears fruit. So it's rich with what you've created from within. I just felt it embodied what I wanted to.
The words are very powerful, embodied. And in India they say that is maybe it's an English one as well. That's only the fruit-laden trees that bow down. The weight of the beauty and the majesty of it makes the fruit trees, with the weight of their fruitfulness, they bow down. And the fruit and the things that don't bear fruit, they're up and straight, and they couldn't care less. So tell me about the Fruitful Voices people. How many people do you have in what sort of areas?
Well,
up till now,
at the moment, it's me and Kaja and I are working on a seminar that we're starting this Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Physical seminar.
No, this is
webinar.
one you phone in. It's a tele-seminar.
Okay.
So you need to email us through the website, and we send you a link when you've signed up, and then we send you a phone number, and for an hour we meet together and we play music, we resonate.
What time is it on Wednesday?
8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 till 9 in the evening, yes.
Okay. Are men allowed to?
Yes, men are more than welcome.
I thought it was purda, you know.
No, we're open.
Because
yes.
there's a lot of feminine in me that doesn't get fulfilled because I have to do the blokey things, like,
yes.
you know. So, okay, that's fine. So, 8 p.m. And how do we get on your website? What is it called?
It's called fruitfulvoices.co.uk.
As simple as that. Fruitful Voices. Fruitful, full with one L only. Fruitfulvoices.co.uk, 8 p.m. Okay. And what is this webinar about? A webinar is a seminar on the web, isn't it?
Yes.
It's called a webinar.
Though actually, this all you need really is a phone. You need to be able to an email address and a phone, because we email the information to you, and then you call in, and we join up, and we work with what comes up in the sessions. So we work with the resonance of the group.
Right.
And
so you just go by what goes.
Yes. And it's a 5-week seminar, 5 weeks of Wednesdays.
Unpaid.
Yeah. This one's £25 for the 5 weeks.
For the 5 days.
Yeah.
For the 5 weeks. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And it'll be every Wednesday night.
Yes, from
at
this
8.
Yes, from the 12th.
And once you pay $25, you jolly well go there.
Yes.
It's kind of earnest money.
Yes.
Because people
it's
join
commitment.
things and commitment, exactly.
Yes, commitment.
Exactly. Because if things completely free, nobody gives it any value.
Yes, and then you find you've booked out, and then 75%, 25% don't turn up, and it's a pity because it means
because you put in a lot of effort into it.
Yes.
I mean, you're spending your energy doing it.
Yeah.
And people can just walk in, walk out, especially in a culture where we have social services, and you have a right to this and you have a right to that, and tax credit and pension credit. It does credit. It's called tax credit. Very creditable thing to do. We used to call it dole, and now it's this credit and that credit, and just to get people into elections.
It was interesting when we were setting up World Peace Tyneside. We were advised to set up as a company interest, a community interest
company. Yeah.
And we were talking about making it accessible for all. And they said, no, don't have anything free because people don't value it.
Yes.
They said even the poorest people in this country, they can afford. You'll find they will make the money to afford cigarettes or alcohol.
Or expensive Christmas presents.
And I hadn't realised they said that cigarettes are about £7 a pack.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't. And so that's what we look. She said, use this as your bottom line. And so we're making this affordable. It's £25 for an hour. And we've got people from Norway. We've got people from around Europe coming in on this. And it's going to be a great connection.
And Diwali was celebrated last Friday or Saturday, I can't remember. And you paid £5 for 4 people coming in. So 4 people have a hearty meal and music and company, and you can talk all the time while somebody's singing at the gates at Civic Hall. So I asked Vic, why did you bother taking the money? He says, then they'll come.
Exactly.
Otherwise
it's
they say free food. No, there must be something wrong with it.
Yes.
It must be sell by date and all. It's lovely food, and congratulations, Vic. And we should value, at least value yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, £6.51 is the minimum wage. At least you're worth that,
Yeah. and it's about the flow, because this when I read Deepak Chopra on wealth, and he said the origins of the word affluence and currency come from the Latin or Greek for flow, and it's about having the
flow of energy,
having the flow and making the circulation.
Shaban, do you want to speak live on radio? Okay. No, it's okay. Send me the text. I want to read out about your uncle. I'm very sorry to see him gone. Send me some details about where and everything, and I'll announce it. Okay. Thank you. See, this community radio.
Yes,
a very close friend's uncle has died. So, this is what community radio is about. Now, he may not want to speak. Papa Siddiqui was called. So, Shaban had just rung. Okay. Unfortunately, unlike BBC, we don't have researchers and telephone operators. We have all rolled like a housewife.
Hands-on.
I'm a radio housewife, house husband, So, we were talking about the details of this. So, you run this webinar, and you also go by your gut feeling what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
So we'll be on telephone, but would you and Kaja be connected visually as well?
Yes, we usually...
Because it will help, because you need quick eye contact and...
Yes, what we usually do is we will have the video on but the sound turned off, and we'll be on the phone
So yes,
each other.
So
yeah.
auditorily, you all are connected,
Yes.
but visually, you two are connected because you have
Yes.
to be. Otherwise, or you could have been in the same room.
Yes, and we talked about doing it as video, but we felt it was important just to use audio for this, so that there is no visual
distraction. Well,
So-
was it Rod Stewart who said the eyes are the prostitute among all the senses?
Right.
It is very masculine. The eyes are the hunter-gatherer eyes.
Yeah.
The auditory is the deeper inner. So even if I play a film song on my flute, I close my eyes. I don't want to
Right.
see who's liking me, who's disliking. It just doesn't
Exactly.
matter. I'm playing for myself.
Yes.
And they happen to be listening. That's how I take it, even at my very humble level of playing. Because if you're looking at people, you're looking for praise or hate, whichever it is, isn't it? So we close our eyes to go inside.
Yeah.
Most meditators, except one or two, go with the eyes closed.
Yes.
We meditate going inward. It's the 9/10 of the iceberg.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me more about the Fruitful Voices. You're going to run a webinars from this Wednesday, day after
This
tomorrow.
Wednesday. Yes.
Okay. And you just go on the website and move on from there.
Yes. Yes. You can book. You
How
can
do you pay
get
for
our
it?
contact
How do you pay the
details.
£25?
You can pay that by emailing me direct. We thought that it saves people doing it. Other things we've put on Eventbrite, but it saves people having a booking fee.
Uh-huh.
So we thought we'd just do this as a direct thing. So
Okay.
if you're in Norway, contact Kaja. If you're in the UK, contact me.
Okay.
Yeah, and my information is there.
But you can take only 12 people.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no! On this call we can have 1,000
Okay, then I'll
because
book
it's
it.
free conference call. Yes.
Okay,
We can
okay.
take 1,000 on this one.
I think it's a very good idea because because it's tele. It's like
Yes.
not telesales, not telemarketing, but tele for telephone, not television.
Yes, it's telephone.
I was getting confused myself. Tele means which one?
And
Okay.
it's having that connection, and it's resonating heart to heart. It's very powerful.
It is. You're linking good people, and it's called fruitfulvoices.co.uk.
Yes.
Now, tell me about the book. The other book, very interestingly, you have book writing workshop. You're thinking of.
Yes, I'm
You're quite connected. I'm impressed. You go through Everbright link.
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, I meant, not
Yes,
Everbright.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that work. I find Eventbrite works really well,
Yes.
and it's straightforward to use. And if people don't want to pay the booking fee, then just contact me direct.
Okay.
But
So, how much is the booking fee?
I've forgotten, it's a percentage.
Okay.
Yes.
So you save a bit money getting
save
through
a bit
to
of money.
How do we contact you? What's the email address then?
It's Risaria at
Risaria.
Yes.
Risaria.
at Fruitful Voices
Again, fruitfulvoices.co.uk.
UK. That's right. Yes.
Okay. And it says, do you have a book you want to write? You're asking other
Yes.
people. Do you want the focus to write it? Otherwise, I'll write a book one day and then you're dead.
Yes.
Okay. Then do you want to do it effortlessly? Well, who doesn't?
Exactly. And I'm quite pleased because two of the women who came to my first book workshop last year, they've actually set up an online publishing company.
Wow. So not only have they written, but they are encouraging others to be published.
Exactly.
Oh my God, wow.
And one of them, she said it had been her dream all her life to be a
Do
writer.
this. Ah.
And the way the process works and the tools I introduce you to, it helps get over that
Initial hurdle.
And
Because these are all man-made, human-made, isn't it?
yes, it's
I can't
in the
do this,
mind.
I shouldn't do this, I mustn't do this, I couldn't do this, I should have done this, but if, although, all these words are just stymieing us
Yes.
from creativity.
Yeah, and part of me says it's like new memes for old. I focus on helping you get new words to empower yourself and move beyond that.
So subtly you're doing NLP.
Yes.
The self-talk that they're doing about, I'm only a housewife, I'm only this, I
Yes.
can't do this, I shouldn't, I mustn't. No, just do it.
Exactly.
So that's what you're teaching
yes.
them.
Yes.
There's a book I was reading called SUMO, Shut Up and Move On.
Right.
That's a very masculine type of book.
Yes.
But it's the same thing you're saying. You're saying quieten your old voices and
Yes.
move on.
Yeah.
Because you're a lady, so you don't say shut up and move on.
Yeah.
Sumo. It's its actual book.
Yes.
Given to me by wheelchair user Steve.
Right.
So you like the guy. Come next Thursday
Yes.
if it's possible.
Yes,
to
I'll
say.
see
Between
if
12
I can
and 2.
fit that in. Yeah.
I mean, he's bringing a girl called Nicola English, who I met at the NLP thing 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Right.
And she was nice, pretty, smart, interested in people's dress sense, this and that. But I didn't know that she had come out of a major illness.
Right.
Because I never knew. Now that's the beauty of someone like that. As a doctor, I couldn't even see any marks.
And that's good. That shows you've moved on.
Yes. And that's wonderful. Okay. So suppose I want to write a book about the National Health Service and my experience of it.
Yes.
How would I go about it?
That'd be great. You just sign up. I'll send you the information. I ask you to bring a couple of things with you, and then we work on it on the day.
Because I have lots of stories.
Yes.
Some palatable, some not.
And that's why the focus is important. That's why on the day we look at the outline of your book, we work on that and the chapter headings, so you're focused, because otherwise your mind just says, oh, I've got this and this and this and this. But I work with the energy of the project, and we work on putting it together so you actually have a roadmap to work on. I call it a roadmap, so that you can focus on where to take it. And I feel it's important to keep going back to those chapter headings, because they've come up in a space where you're safe, you're relaxed, and your mind, you step outside your
Also,
mind.
you made a commitment.
Exactly. And this is why, I actually had a Hay House best-selling author in my London workshop, and she said to me, you're actually working in the way that I'm telling people to work.
Okay.
It's walking the talk.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Precisely. And in more ways than one, you personally walk the talk yourself.
Yes.
You can't sell things you don't have.
No.
So, because you've done it yourself, you're able to share.
Yes.
Otherwise, it won't sound authentic. Your eyes would tell me that you're just doing it for the cash
Yeah.
or trying to impress people. It's true, we can make a...
That makes me laugh, because I did a workshop in Burton and Trent 2 weeks ago. And it felt important that I do it. I arrange the workshops when I feel inspired to do it.
Sure.
And I had the woman whose venue, beautiful venue, she's actually a counsellor. She said I could have the venue in exchange for a place, herself having a place on the course. And I said yes. And there's a woman who wants to market it for me, but she hadn't been able to get anyone to come. And I thought, well, I'll do it for the two of them if it doesn't cost me anything.
Yes.
And I was trying to get a lift down there, and my housemate's girlfriend said, why don't you hitch? And I said,
No, I used to do that at 18. I can't do that
exactly.
now.
And then she said, you're my ideal hitchhiker. She said, I always pick people up. And she said, you're interesting. And I thought, what am I afraid
force
of?
me to think of new things and etc.
And I thought, why am I so stuck on this? And I thought, so I made up. I thought, right, does it feel right to do this workshop? And the feeling was yes. And so I got the bus with my bus pass out to Washington Services, and then the sixth car that pulled up was this incredible guy who was going exactly where I wanted to. He was going down to Bristol. He took me to East Midlands Airport, and we had the most incredible conversation, had the most amazing connections. And I used my bus pass on the airport bus to stay with my son, so it cost me nothing, and I stayed with my son when I was there.
So seek and thou shalt find.
Exactly.
But it's not even seek, it's be prepared to accept what you're given.
Exactly.
There's a Hindi film song called Bahut diya dene wale ne tujhko aanchal hi na samaya to kya kijiye, means the giver, meaning God, Lord, whatever, has given you so much, but you don't have the capacity to take it.
Yes.
You know the aanchal, what women put on their shoulder, the sari thing.
Yes.
So when they need something, they just take the arms of... Now, that is so small in your case. God is showering it, and you can't take it even.
Right.
So it's quite a powerful phrase for all of us, men, women, all, that the Maker is giving you so much, but you refuse to believe. And I don't think meeting this guy was chance. It's synchronicity.
Yes.
And if you don't believe in synchronicity, you have a pretty boring life.
Exactly.
In the last week, twice, I'm speaking to my best friend Sayyid on the phone. And the first time he was going to ring me, but I pressed the button faster than him in real time.
Yeah.
And suddenly my other friend, Dr. Karamchand, rings, And what I do naughtily is link the two and keep quiet. So he's thinking, how's Anand's voice changed? And he's thinking, how's Sayyid there when I'm talking to Anand, have I pressed the wrong button? And after the confusion is over, then twice last week it's happened. So obviously there's a very powerful connection between us. And the scientific types, by the way, I am a BSc and I do understand science, will say, no, it's just chance. Well, then taking aspirin and your headache going is just chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. Okay. So this is the other thing, Dragon's Death. I mean, there's so many things you do. I wish I was a woman. Okay. Stepping
Why
into
why do you wish you were a woman?
Because everything you do is for women. And
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's open to all.
Okay, right.
In fact, a producer I work with wants to come and write his business book on film in my workshop.
So when is the next workshop then?
Next Monday.
Time?
A week today, 9:30 till 5 at the Tyneside.
9:30 to 5. What's the fees?
£125 if you book before the 14th.
Okay. Now it's a very quick decision I have to make. Okay, Monday. I'm just checking if I'm going to ditch somebody on Monday. Monday 17th, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I hope he's not listening, but I'm going to ditch you. I'm not going to spend 100 so many pounds to then. Yeah, I'm coming. Done.
Brilliant.
So I have to cancel the gentleman saying, I don't know what excuse I'll give, but I'm doing a course. But he can do. What he's doing is important but not urgent.
Right.
What you're doing is important and urgent.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll never get into this writing thing.
Yes.
I've taken Dragon Dictate 3 times on my PC, on my iPhone, on my Mac, but I haven't dictated anything ever.
No.
Because the deep inside need wasn't there.
Yes.
But now that you're here, how can I ignore it?
Yeah, and so you're ripe to write. This is who I want on my workshop.
Well,
People who are ripe to write.
Yes, well, I have 68 years of life on this planet.
Great.
I have a mother who's written 2 books, one on psychology, the first ever Hindi book on child psychology my mother wrote in India.
Yes.
She got her own book that she wrote in Hindi at the age of 14.
Mm-hmm.
So if she could write at 14, I can write at 68,
Exactly.
That's exactly what I feel. Okay, Monday I'm there. And this is where?
The Tyneside Cinema.
Tyneside Cinema, okay.
In the Headspace room, which I think is a great
Headspace.
title.
Okay, I'm thinking about the parking. The parking is £6.50 for the whole day.
Or you can get the metro in.
How much is that from Gosford?
I don't know. I have a golden ticket.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
We'll organize that. So okay,
yeah.
I'm booked there. So this man needs to be told. I'm afraid I'm elsewhere. Okay, so I'll tell everyone that. Okay, so tell me about the stepping out into your journey business. It's an online seminar.
This is the seminar on Wednesday.
Okay, now that I have the paper in front of me, you can tell me some more. I sort of quickly jumped over it. Are you ready to? The subheadline is: Are you ready to take the next step in your personal evolution?
Yes.
Personal means what? As a human.
As a human. Yes.
Not as a woman, not as a wife, not as a husband, not as a doctor, not as a Muslim, not as a gay, not as a disabled. The soul, the spirit.
Exactly.
Personal evolution means moving on.
Yes.
Because most people stay stuck in the rut. They're born a Hindu and they never speak to anyone Muslim or Christian. No, I'm a very good Hindu. I don't mix with everyone, or Muslim or Christian. I met Christians like that. The other day, Jambo, who you know?
Yes.
Jambo and I are sitting in a Christian restaurant. I know what the hell is a Christian restaurant.
I didn't know there was one.
There is one. It's called Underground Cafe in Carlisle Square. Is it Carlisle or Carlisle?
I'm not sure.
Well, if you don't know, I don't know either, man.
Yeah.
Is it migraine or migraine for you?
Migraine.
Okay. Well, when people say migraine, I say migraine.
Right.
Cervical. Anyway.
Yeah. Do you say bath or bath? Bath or bath?
Bath. Do you say envelope or envelope?
Envelope.
I do say envelope as well. I went to a proper English school, Catholic school it was, but it was good in English.
Yeah.
Okay. So personal evolution. So that's a Christian place. But I like going places where I said, I'm a Hindu, but I like you.
Yes.
That's how I start my conversation with people.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're thinking. What is he doing here? I'm an Indian Christian. He's a Hindu from India. Anyway. So have you opened the door in your life and experienced or felt that there is something more? Most people haven't. They're in the discomfort of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
I live in NE4. I've never been anywhere. President Bush didn't have a passport till he became president.
Yeah.
What kind of thing is this,
Incredible. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to take part in experiencing deeper consciousness and more awareness? On this online class, we facilitate a space for you to explore. By space, you mean a psychic space, an emotional space.
An energetic space.
Yes. Because it's electronic.
Yes.
So you can be in your own bed. You
Yes.
can be, and if you can't because your wife doesn't allow it, your husband doesn't allow it, your kids don't allow it, you need to look at that.
Yes.
Because you need to be growing.
Exactly.
And this is coming from a woman with 3 kids.
I have 2.
2, sorry.
Yes.
With a woman with 2 kids who gave her life entirely to her 2 children to get the best for them.
Yes.
But the best was not necessarily the best for them, but it certainly was the worst for you.
In a way, it wasn't the worst because I learned from it.
Okay.
And this is how I've become stronger.
So you can see the world through their eyes, like a child's eyes.
Yes. Yes.
So there's advantage in that.
There is.
There's advantage in taking your children to yoga classes and these kind of things because subtly you are imbibing it. The child in you is working.
Yes.
So you're not doing it as a duty,
No.
but as a sibling to your children.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. You facilitate a space for spiritual. I mean, this is very necessary. We have become too rigid in our religious, ritualistic ways, but
Yes.
we've forgotten what it's about.
Yes.
We've forgotten the essence. In everything, the National Health Service, it's nothing to do with health, it's to do with sickness.
Yes. And this is why I keep getting emails about protesting about this, about the breakdown and the breakdown of government. And I think actually it sounds like this is a natural process and that things are evolving in their own good way. I mean, in the way we can't even decide decisively on who is going to be in power in the government.
Well, only 19% or 20% of people vote here.
Exactly.
So they've lost faith.
Yes.
Why have we lost faith? We have lost faith in our churches. I mean, there are 2 churches on the street I live. One is a fish restaurant. Well, Jesus liked fish, so it's okay.
Yes.
And one is a thriving place, mind. The other one, All Saints, I think it's called. And there's one behind me. Because it's full of churches. I don't know why we need them. So many of them. There's one where every Sunday there's ding dong going on. The bells ring. And then there's another one that was what is it called? Northern Rock Trust, which gave us money. So now that's turned virgin, therefore no money in it.
Right.
So that's gone. And there's a Catholic one in South Gospel, which is still working strong. But yeah, all the churches and some churches have become Kobo for children to play in. And some have become mountain climbing things. So we are like in a post-religious era in the Christian world. I mean, there are churches, like when I was at the counter, 2 French girls walked into, and the girls didn't know what she was talking about. I said, you're looking for a church where they do food? Oh, yes, they said. I said, down the road, because we've had them in the studio. Venerable Bede's church. And that's quite thriving.
Yes.
So some churches are thriving because they have adapted to the new mores, where there's gospel singing by black people and so on. There's food. Because that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about community service.
Exactly.
If a church is serving nobody except looking smart and wearing top hats, then it's just a ritual.
And I think this is why it's about being open. For me, a religion is a great structure if it gives you spiritual content. But for me personally, if that cuts me off from other people, then
you're breeding division.
Yes, and to me that negates.
Well, very early, a very close friend of mine, I won't say his name, said to me, but religion binds me. I said, yes, it binds you to your people and takes you away from me.
Yes.
And he never thought of this.
And this is why on World Peace Day we felt that one of the most moving things was that young Muslim.
That fellow who was very well dressed. And
yes. And he was so from the heart. We really connected to him.
But he chose to be Muslim.
Yes.
He consciously became a Muslim.
Right.
So having an axe to grind is a bad word, but he has conscious. He wasn't born in a Muslim family.
Right.
So he's looking at the values of Islam.
Yes.
He's a Muslim with looking for values, for qualities. So if I convert tomorrow to be a Buddhist, I'll consciously be attracted to it.
Great.
In fact, I want to do a show of all the people who've chosen to change their religion.
Yes.
Because they have something common amongst all of them. It doesn't matter which they've chosen, but they've all chosen. They weren't just dumped in it, born in it, stuck in it.
Yeah. And one of the men who was there, one of the healers who was there, said that he was so moved by that.
But he sang so well.
He sang so beautifully.
Yes, and I think that's what moved me.
And it really connects with you. And he said he had been objecting to a mosque being built in, I think it's Whitley Bay.
Mm.
And he said,
Now I
hearing
don't-
him talk, he said, I've changed my view.
Sure.
And I think that is great because he now sees
Beyond his own
beyond
box.
his own box.
Yes. I think that's fabulous. So also there's a lady whose name I'm forgetting. I'll get it somehow through somebody. She was a Buddhist for a year,
Yes.
Muslim for a year, Hindu for a year, Christian for a year.
Right.
So she's not just a humanist. The humanists
Yeah.
deny religion.
Yeah.
But secularity in India doesn't work because it denies religion. It's more the anglicized Nehru kind of idea, not the Gandhian idea of all religions are good and equal.
Yes.
Gandhi's idea was good, but Nehru was a totally irreligious man. So for him, he didn't say it, he didn't dare say it, he wouldn't get elected. For his, the idea was all religions are bad and equal.
Right.
So which kind of secularism do you want?
Right.
And we're into a lot of this hogwash talk. We are a multi-religious society.
Yes.
But mine's the best.
Yes,
Kind of.
yes.
All pigs are equal.
Yes.
But some are bigger than the others.
And it's also watching ourselves
Yes.
so that we don't become judgmental and
Yes.
think that because I'm thinking like this or talking like this that I'm the best. That's
Well, in
that's
psychological
just-
terms,
yes.
I'm okay, you're okay.
Yeah.
And I said, look, if I love my daddy, I love your daddy as well because I understand your love for your daddy.
Yes.
So if I truly respect the religion I was born in, I will venture into others because I'm confident and respect them the same. And talking about religion now, I got a phone call from a lady whose husband actually phoned a little while ago. I hope he's listening. And she once asked me, which religion are you? You talk about them all. I said, I was born in a Hindu faith. I went to a Catholic school. Then I went to a Protestant college called St. Stephen's College. I worked with a Jew for 15 years. But when I go to the mosque, I'm as Muslim as you are.
Yeah.
And when I go to St. Xavier's body in Goa, I get tears in my eyes.
Yes.
So I am where I am.
Yes.
And she couldn't understand that because she's so limited by where she is
Yeah.
that she can't see beyond the window. I said, religion is like a house, but look through the window at others.
I used to think that maybe there was something wrong because when I go to a temple or a church, I do feel that connection.
Sure.
And I feel I get what everybody gets
So
about
whereas
it.
these people will call themselves Hindus for the rest of their lives, and those, when you go into a temple, you become a Hindu. When you go into a mosque, you're a Muslim. When you go into a church, you're deeply into Jesus.
Yeah.
And people have taken, but again, I believe church and state should not be mixed. One is an external thing about where you drive the car, how much tax you pay. It's all yang. But faith is a very yin thing. It's the softest part of us.
Yeah.
It's about values and it's not about rules.
It's, as you say that, I'm picturing a post which showed all the different flags of the world and the boundaries, and it has the globe with all these flags on and saying, this is how we think the world is. And then it shows the picture of the world
Wow.
in its natural state.
And wasn't it Armstrong who said, one step for me, one step for mankind? And
Yes.
wasn't he who said, when I see the earth, Mother Earth from a distance, it all looks the same? There's a caller. Hello, caller. Who's that, please?
Hello, Dr. Saab.
Oh, my friend, where are the plums? Before we finish that, I believe Papa Siddiqui has passed away.
Yeah, I'm just in the masjid. I'm coming to you actually for 2 minutes.
Oh,
5
come
minutes,
and
okay?
did you know Papa Siddiqui?
I'm
I met him in that. And also, what time is the janaza?
It's dawn. It's 11 o'clock. I got here at 12 because they now start our masjid in Heaton yesterday at 12. but they
Oh,
don't let us
right.
11 o'clock
Okay.
in this mosque.
Okay, we lost that opportunity.
We're
Okay.
late for that as well.
Okay, and 2 or 2:30 is a gentleman called Bedi, something Kishan Bedi from White Bridge Park. His cremation is at 2:30. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do come in. You're welcome. Please come in. Come and
I'm
meet.
coming in 5 minutes. for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Welcome.
Okay.
This is our lovely friend who is a very close friend, Zafar Bhatti. And he phones Alan Robson and he phones Paddy Magdi. And he used to phone us so much. He's listening now. And we used to all be scared of him. God, if he's going to be on the phone. And I thought, no, I'll make friends with him. And he's the fellow who linked me with the Bengali movie. And we become very close, when he goes in a taxi, he'll say to the person, where do you want to go? They tell him, why do you want to go? And they're shocked. Why? Yeah, because I want to have a conversation with you.
Yes.
I'm not just taking your money. I drive the taxi because I enjoy your company.
Yes.
And he has most incredible, now he's driving a bus. I don't think it's that easy to be chatting up passengers when you're driving
Yeah.
a bus. But he's a regular visitor, and we enjoy his company.
Yeah.
And he always brings something to eat. He's quite a friendly guy. Last
Lovely.
time, it was amazing what happened. Where you're sitting was the wheelchair Steve. On the side is Thomas Fenwick Brown. And we were talking, and Thomas Fenwick Brown, I wish I could start a table tennis club. In rings this guy. And he says, I'm coming. He came. So I've linked 2 Christians, or failed Christians, who've never been to a mosque in Britain.
Yes.
One is in a wheelchair.
Yes.
All want to play table tennis, whether in the wheelchair or not.
Yeah.
So I'm neither a Heaton resident, nor a Muslim, nor a Pakistani, nor a table tennis player, nor white, not Christian, not in a wheelchair. But I enjoyed connecting them. And it's good. I mean, that's what it's about. That's what this radio station is about. Is
Yes.
linking all manner of people. Not one is better, one is worse. When those kind of things happen, but nobody rings on the shows in that way. People have become very open-hearted. And I keep emphasizing that Newcastle is a very lucky place to live in. I truly believe that.
It is, and I can feel here just how open-hearted it is being here. It just feels so good. And I think we're like that in this area, and we can spread this. It's about rippling it out.
Well, if you look at the chakras, then if Scotland is the head chakra, and somewhere Berwick and all would be throat chakra, we are really in the heart chakra
Yes.
here. And Birmingham would be in the power chakra, isn't
Yes.
it? And then would be London would be the Soho Street chakra, and Plymouth would be the feet chakra. If you look at it that way,
But London is the route connecting us with the rest of the world.
that's
Yeah.
root spelled both ways. ROOTRROUTE as well.
Ah, yes.
Homophones.
Yes.
Yes. It's amazing that. I knew Anthony Thorley exceptionally well. He was the drug addiction consultant of mine. Do you know Anna Thorley? That
No.
was his wife. She was a homeopath and
Right.
therapist. Anyway, I knew him much more because I worked in his unit. And we really got close. And he used to live on Linden Road and I used to live on Elmfield Road.
Right.
So that's like yards away. And when I first met him, he said, you're going to the bank? Yes. How much is your yearly pay? I said, £80,000. Which Englishman asks an Indian GP how much you're earning?
Yeah.
But he just liked that style. What's
Yes.
your date of birth? I said, what's yours? You're a Libra.
Yeah.
So I thought, this fellow is a strange guy. He's an Englishman. He's doing astrology. When he used to see patients, drug addiction patients, he used to write the star sign down.
Right.
And work quietly, Ayurvedically, as well as in the normal English way of giving them methadone and bus pass and all that. He sadly left the area. He's now living in London and works with the Home Office and so on. But he taught me a lot, about. He took me, my then wife and me, Anthea and me, to Durham Cathedral.
Yes.
And he says, now walk from the top to the bottom and you'll feel it in your body. And you know where the transept is,
Yes.
where Jesus' heart is. I started getting itchy here. So he says, this cathedral is your body or Christ's body.
Yeah.
You're lying on your back. And I was interested in chakras anyway.
Coming in here.
But any idea what kind of place in our part of the world would be good? In your view, in what you see as a...
They're working in Scotland. They have been for some time. So, but Kaja is really the one to ask that detail.
So she has to
about.
feel it.
She has, yes.
So it has to resonate with her heart chakra, you could
Yes,
say.
yes.
Not a brain chakra.
And they work as a team.
Okay.
It's a team of
So
them.
how many people are there?
I think there's 5 of them all together.
Right.
Yes,
Five people.
yes.
How did they meet?
I'm not sure. I'm
We'll
not
ask her
sure.
if she comes on
Yes,
Skype.
Yes.
Kaya, we were waiting for you. You can text her while we are talking.
Yes.
Saying, Dr. Skype is on and you're there. So she can...
Right, I'll send her a text.
Because it's all linked up.
Yes. We did a test last night and it worked perfectly.
Well, sadly, I can see myself on the screen, which is like a mirror. But we need Kaya on the screen. Okay, so there's 5 of them. They've got together somehow, and they are spiritual people who are going to different parts of the world, sitting and creating music there. So I can't ask her the question that I would be able to ask her. But she talked to us at the St. Mary's Cathedral.
It's St. Mary's Church, yes.
Church.
yes.
What date was that roughly? It was the day I came back
It
from
was
Palestine.
the 21st of September. It was World Peace Day. Yes. Yes.
And I had just landed at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And your text came which says, Doc, you're coming. I thought, what the hell is this, I've just returned from Palestine from very emotionally draining painful experience, And I thought I must have said something to her. So I said, yeah. Tell me the venue again. And
Yes.
lo and behold, at 10 o'clock, I'm bathed and ready to talk. And I saw this Texan-looking character. Who was it? I said, may I introduce myself? I'm Dr. Anand. I used to be a doctor and I'm better, my usual prattle. And he said, Alan Robson. I said, not the Alan Robson. You look like a Texan. And we hit it off. And I got to know him. And then my son and I, we came to different parts and filmed different bits. It was a wonderful day that day. I mean, there were all sorts of, there were Buddhists, there was Muslim fellow speaking, a young lad from Middlesbrough.
Yes.
With his very quaint look with a turban on. He looked like a prince from Jodhpur, Rajasthan or Arabia or something like that. He was a bit fair, but but he looked the part. And then there was Jambo.
Yes.
Strong with
Jumbotron,
his,
yes.
who actually got us to experience it. And there were the two young men, young I would call them for them to feel better about how they got into this business of getting into public relations and promoting their work.
Yes.
So really it was quite a ragbag. There was a Buddhist monk
Yes.
from some monastery around here.
From the Dhammakaya temple in heaven.
Dhammakaya temple in heaven.
Heaven.
I said that purposely. Have you been to the monastery up here? It's no longer that active. Harnham.
No, I haven't been to that.
17 miles on the A696 from Newcastle. There's a place called Harnham. And if you go right into the building, it is a monastery. And the old guy, the farmer, was totally taken up. It used to be a hub of activity, humming with all sorts of people coming in there. Very nice, gentle people. But I think his descendants haven't. What does it say?
She says she's calling you now.
Okay. I'm just awaiting. My Skype is alive. Yeah, my Skype is alive. So Kaya, I hope you get through. If not, worst comes to worst, she can talk on my mobile. Let's do that now.
Right.
Just tell her it's not coming through. I mean, I'm connected
Okay.
to Skype. I can see that.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Let me be absolutely truthful about the network here. The network reception is 244 bytes a second. Not kilobytes,
Right.
not megabyte. This place stinks,
Right.
The beacon, I'm very sorry to tell you that I'm receiving you at 347 bytes. My computer can measure all this. And we are transmitting at 940 bytes. I have even forgotten what bytes are. So she can't get through because of the rotten broadband we have here. So she can call me on my phone and I'll link her
Right.
to the people directly. So text her my number. It'll be 0044.
Right.
Well, you text it. I don't want to give the public my number.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we are interviewing today Risaria, who's absolutely a wonderful lady. I met. I don't know, how did we meet?
We met through Jonas Malik through the
Eunice from
the Diversity Forum.
Yes.
Gated Muslim Society.
The fellow with the tash.
Yes.
Oh no, Yunus Malik. He's got a shop here for saving electricity and gas and that.
Ah, right.
That guy. Yes. Yunus. I told him if you wear glasses and put on a dhoti, you look like Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. That chap. Yes. So Risaria is a mother of two and an Amazon best-selling coming-of-age and dystopian fiction author. What is dystopian?
It means where
Opposite
the
of
world...
the utopia.
Yes.
Dystopia means the
It's disturbed. Yes. It's,
twisted out of shape.
Twisted out of shape. Yes.
Fiction author. Writing has always been your passion. 15 years ago, you started as script writing. You have written a ringing group. Script wiring group.
Right.
The word doesn't exist here. WRING. Script ring group in her home in the Midlands. You're a Brummy.
No, I lived in Derby. I'm a Geordie, but I lived in the Midlands for
All right.
nearly
And you
30
come back
years,
home, like-
and I've come back home.
Yes,
I've come home.
When there was no other group in the area. So you're really quite a pioneer, one could say. Christopher Columbus, just
Yes.
to tease you. I was
I've not
watching.
been called that before.
Well, Christopher Columbus was going to China, but landed in the Americas. There was a cartographic show on BBC Two or something. And it's amazing how people go for one thing and find something else,
Yes.
but make so much out of it.
Yes.
And he says he discovered America. Excuse me, America was there all the time. You didn't discover it. This group, the Derbyshire Script Writers, is going strong today. Still, well done. On this writers, from this writers, last year you launched a book called Fruitful Voices.
Yes.
What, 5 fruit and veg a day? what is Fruitful Voices about?
Well, I'm looking for people who are ripe to write and who want to express themselves.
You know,
on
the
a deeper
fifth
level.
chakra is the vocal chakra, but it's about expression. It's not just about the voice.
Yeah.
Some people write, some people play act, some people sing, some people dance. It's all the different ways that humans express their spirituality. And published her own first children's book, Death of the Dragon Keepers. Is that the book you were showing me?
Yes. It's
It's got a
available.
lovely cover, you know, with a dragon made of fire. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when's that book coming out?
It came out earlier this year.
It has, okay.
Yes, it's already out, and it got to #1 on Amazon
Through Kindle?
through Kindle. Yes.
So it's a Kindle book.
It's a Kindle book.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it take for anyone to write something on air, on internet? And what does it take to publish it? What kind of people, what does it take? Because a lot of people I know want to write, but they just don't know how to get on. We have in the studio Risaria. Welcome, Risaria. Hello. It's lovely to have you in the studio. The only issue is we're not able to link up with Kaja, isn't it? So we'll wait for her to come through on the thing. But what is it that we're trying to get her to do? What is it we're trying to link with her? And why is that? Why do we want Risaria? Why do we want Kaja on Skype now? What's she doing that's so special?
Oh, it's just so special. I met Kaja about 18 months ago, and she introduced me to the way she works. She works with a group of people who create music in the now.
So they are authentic, spiritual, but spontaneous musicians.
Yes, but they choose the places they compose in very carefully, and they have themes, and they are really inspiring with their music. It's very, very, it works on the body. And
So they're not sitting in a big symphonic hall with millions of viewers and thousands of TV screens and everything scripted and tickets sold.
Not
It's
at all.
completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite. This year they went to Mount Shasta in
Where's that?
America.
All right.
It's in California, which is a sacred site. And they
For eons, that place
Yes.
is considered very special.
yes,
Or like a pilgrimage,
yes,
except it's not on recorded religions, but it is a spiritual experience.
yes.
Wow.
And they recorded the music here, which I'm hoping we'll be able to hear.
Okay.
Yes, and in January they're going to Egypt, and they have 9 hours in the Tomb of the Kings.
Wow.
To
So really
work with
very
the-
precious earthly places.
Yes.
Before we destroy them all with tourism or bombs.
Yes,
It's wonderful what she's doing, you know. And you know, music is so potent and so powerful. It touches everyone's hearts. You don't need to explain it. A child can pick it up.
yeah,
You don't need a course on appreciating music because a baby gets it, isn't it?
exactly.
Is that authentic?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the other places that she's thinking of, Kaja, is?
She's wanting to come here to Tyneside. They actually came, she came and did some sessions here for World Peace Day in September.
Remember,
with
I
World
remember.
Peace Tyneside. And they came and looked around and said they really want to come and compose here, but they didn't feel the time was right this year.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to them coming.
Onto Kindle. What
Yes.
do you do to do that?
Well, the thing is, I always say first have your book. You need to create the book first.
You need to write it out.
You need to write it.
Okay.
And then the two of the writers I work with, that they actually found that the skills in their day jobs worked to help them get it online, because you can put it onto Amazon and you
So
can,
these are
it's a
like
step-by-step.
transferable skills.
Yes,
Would you bring them sometime?
yes.
Because there are a
I'd
lot
love
of people in the community. You see, I think it's the age of true democracy coming, where everyone can take a video and put it on YouTube. Everyone can go on Skype. At one time, we were all oppressed, isn't it? We were told not to. The King James Bible came out in English, so people could actually read and understand.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're stuck in an ancient language nobody knows, and only the elite, or the only dance that you could see was ballet. You're not allowed to dance;
Yes.
it's vulgar. So it's highbrow stuff, isn't it? In all cultures, doesn't matter which country. Every culture wants to dominate the less fortunate. Okay, you also did this wonderful World Peace Day. You co-founded a community interest company committed to raising awareness and promoting inner peace through celebrating peace. Now, that is quite an amazing thing you're doing, because it's like fighting racism. You can't fight racism without raising its profile. Anything you fight grows.
Exactly.
Isn't it? People don't seem to understand this. The government definitely doesn't understand this. You, instead of being happy and showing people how to be happy, but misery sells, violence sells, sadly. But you do something peaceful, it doesn't sell. But we can make it sell, because you have power, I have power on Skype. And what's that new thing you were telling me about, how to promote things on the internet with 5 people can, 10 people can talk together?
Oh yes, it's another
Platform?
Platform. Oovu.
Oovu. How do you spell
Yes.
that?
OOVOO. And it's
OOVOO.
Yes.
Oovu.
Yes.
Okay.
And this Kaja and I are working with a group of, there's 12 of us in Europe.
Wow.
In
So
Germany.
you use Oovu to be connected,
Yes.
and it's free,
It's free.
and it's face to face. You can
It's
see each other's
face-to-face,
expression.
Yes. And you can have up to 12 people, and we connect twice a week, and we
Wow.
have a 2-hour session.
What a beautiful use of technology. What a fab use. I'm really, really touched. So where do you get these new ideas from? I'm
just
jealous.
being open. Just being
I
open.
didn't know about Oovu until you mentioned it this
Yeah.
morning.
And that's it.